Hey, good morning, my friends. MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa here with the MLive Morning Weather Update. And I like to say, and the saga starts. Interesting Michigan winter weather. As as a meteorologist, winter is the most interesting time period usually because of all the kinds of quirks that happen. Thunder snow possible today along the shoreline, the Lake Michigan shoreline, from Pentwater to Ludington to Muskegon to Holland to Benton Harbor down into northern Indiana. Why? The lakes are relatively warm. There's a real cold blob aloft coming through, and that makes unstable air. Unstable air rises, rising air turns into thunderstorms, not of the severity of a summertime thunderstorm, but when you add the snow in there, makes a very interesting situation. So I'll highlight that for you here. Let's get started. And I'm surprised that the western shoreline counties from, Oceana County southward don't have some sort of winter weather advisory, because the Weather Service is also highlighting the possibility of this thunder snow. So here's the current radar, and you can see snow developing now at Ludington as expected, 3/4 mile visibility. That's what we call light snow, 3/4 mile visibility. Half-mile visibility is moderate, 1/4 mile is heavy. And you can see the curl to the radar over in Wisconsin. That's what I've written about this morning already. A comma head pattern will be developing, and this is that comma head pattern. Here's your radar forecast. And by the way, I wrote about this yesterday, and I showed this to you yesterday. This model has shown this pattern all along, and the heavy burst of precipitation developing along the Lake Michigan shoreline. So this is 11 o'clock, and as we go into the next couple of hours, the precipitation is expected to increase in intensity because of the overlake instability. So we're at noon, so you could have rain, bursts of heavy snow, and thunder and lightning at any time noonish from Ludington to Pentwater to west of the Grand Rapids area, Holland area, South Haven, down toward South Bend. And as we go through the afternoon, this is 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Can you see that curl? That's what I call a mesoscale, a lake-induced mesoscale, short scale, short geographical scale vortex that will develop in the afternoon and evening. This is early evening, and it rolls down the shoreline. So not everybody is getting a burst of lake effect and thunder snow. If you're in Ann Arbor, Detroit, Saginaw, Flint, the Thumb, you'll see some occasional spurts of rain and snow showers, Lansing as well, and Jackson. But the main activity, the main bizarre activity, is going to be along the Lake Michigan shoreline. And then note that this model also develops one of those same mesovortexes on Lake Huron and brings it down into the Thumb overnight tonight. Right there, that's 2 in the morning. So a very classic weather pattern on Lake Michigan. Now, what is this? This is the lightning density forecast off of that same model. So where you see the gray, that's saying that every few miles there could be a lightning flash or two. So again, it's not the type of thunderstorm activity you get during a severe thunderstorm in the summer, but it is lightning in snow. And lightning in snow is a really odd look. It casts a weird light on the sky, and you're not used to it, and so it's just kind of an eerie thing. Hey, very fitting for Halloween, huh? Okay, so now here is the snowfall forecast off of this model. And again, not everybody gets heavy snow, but look at that purple area. That is up to 6 inches of snow. Pentwater again, Ludington, Muskegon, maybe not into the Grand Rapids area. So it's going to hug the shoreline. Otherwise, areas will get a dusting to a 1/2 inch here and there, and then it melts or so. Okay. All right. Temperatures. So, summarize today, kind of a bizarre day. Thunder, rain, and snow along the shoreline. So the roads that I'm highlighting that could get treacherous would be US 31 from Ludington south to Holland, and then 196 from Holland south to around the Benton Harbor area, and then I-94 from Benton Harbor down into northern Indiana. The roads are warm, but if the snow comes down heavy enough in a thunder snow, it can pile up faster than it's melting. And of course, it's the first time of the year, so the other people forget how to drive in it, right? So just be careful with that. So let's go into other things now. Let's go into, and hey, thanks for joining me on the MLive morning weather update. Happy Halloween to everybody. So today's highs, 40 in the east, upper 30s in the west. Tomorrow, about 40. Thursday, in the 40s. Friday, 50-ish. Saturday, mid to upper 50s, maybe. Sunday, maybe close to 60 degrees, while it's 40s in the UP. Monday also, that big temperature gradient from 60s to 30s. That should spell a storm system, and I'll show that to you in just a moment. Now here's Tuesday of next week, and Wednesday and Thursday turning colder behind that storm system. Bear in mind, I use, and many meteorologists, as a general, what's the best model? The European model. So when I show you the data of like the high temperatures next week getting colder, it's because I'm using the European model, and then when I show you the precipitation off of that, it kind of fits with the temperatures, or I should say the temperatures are a result of what the European model says. So we have to buy into the idea that there's going to be a few more storms next week, and eventually we're going to get on the cold side of one of those storms, and then the colder air will be pulled down. And, that's why we use the European, because it is a very good general model for showing what the overall pattern is going to be out 5, 6, 7 days. Okay, so here is that European model showing, our commotion today off to the east. Tomorrow is dry, and Thursday and Friday are dry for the most part, maybe some showers in the north. This is Saturday, and this is Sunday, and it's going to take until next week before we start to get the next stormy pattern to emerge. So this is next Sunday night and Monday, a rain system, as we're on the, we're right on the front. To get into snow at this time of the year, we have to have the storm well to our south, and we have to be solidly into the cold air that's usually only in the low 30s at the coldest at that point. And that's what this is trying to indicate could happen next week. This is Tuesday of next week. See the low pressure center down around Columbus, Ohio? But there may not be enough cold air to sustain a snow on the backside of the storm. Maybe just a mix-in, or depending on the time of the day. And that storm moves on to the east. And as we go out to November 10th, we see the next storm starting to take shape. What do I have lined up here? Okay, total precipitation. So this is the precipitation today. It's heaviest, obviously, along the shoreline. Jennifer Lament, what do you think about a trip to Hocking Hills this weekend? Not really sure where Hocking Hills is, but nothing looks too crazy this weekend for travel. I think you'd be fine. And then as we go into next week, one storm system and two storm systems, and we start to add the moisture back on up. Let's take a quick look at the radar, the current radar now. And you can see the precipitation developing on the west side of the state. This has mostly been reported as snow this early, but remember, we're getting it in the middle part of the day. So even though it's cold enough aloft for snow, there will be some heating at the surface, and you'll get occasional rain mixed with snow today. And no lightning strikes showing up on that radar just yet, but certainly could happen in the next couple of hours. So interesting weather day here in Michigan, west side of the state. Boy, I'd love to be in Muskegon or Ludington right now and just wait for the thunder and lightning to perhaps happen. You know, do the old Jim Cantori on you. Oh, thunder snow. Wow. It is pretty interesting. I've seen it a handful of times in my life, and it's pretty cool if you're a weather fan or a snow fan. And it's not cool to drive in because it usually means the snow is coming down pretty hard. So we'll get through this. Remember, this is very transient, very isolated. The rest of the state sees some bursts of rain and snow at times. No travel problems in the rest of the state. And then we go in a little quiet pattern for a couple of days, but it looks like November will be fairly stormy. And remember, I want to continue to emphasize this. We're talking a lot about El Nino for the winter, which tends to give us a warmer than normal winter, warmer than normal, not warm, warmer than normal, and also tends to give us a drier than normal winter, December, January, February. But November, prior to an El Nino pattern taking hold, which usually takes hold in late December, November can be just as snowy as ever. So don't think just because we have a snowstorm or two in November that the winter forecast has gone awry. I really got to get that message out to you, and you can share that over the coffee talk with others. So, hey, thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. Check out MLive.com through the day. We'll keep you updated on this interesting weather. Stay safe if you're driving along the shoreline from Ludington to Gary, Indiana today. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa.